Hi, it's Kevin May in the PhocusWire Studio at the Phocuswright Conference 2021. Delighted to be joined by Chinmai Sharma, the President for the Americas at RateGain. So welcome, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, right. So what changes are you seeing at the moment in the kind of the commercial organisations? It's a dreaded phrase, isn't it? This new normal, but we use it a lot. So what are you seeing so far?
Yeah, it's an interesting time. I think the pandemic has kind of forced all the companies to relook at their technology stack and who does what. I think the trend that we're seeing is that the companies are more and more open about bringing in specialists instead of doing it themselves.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot of pressure on the commercial organization to perform. So everything is very ROI driven.
What do you mean by this pressure on them to perform? Is that just because everyone's so desperate to get guests again and all those kind of things? Or is it another kind of a bigger picture pressure, do you think?
Yeah, it's a pressure from both sides. On the top line revenue, the market segments are changing. Corporate travel and groups haven't come back, so they have to reinvent themselves on the leisure side. And then internally, there are cost pressures. They can't run the same themes and the same size anymore, and they just have to do things more efficiently. So if the marketing ROI 5x or 7x was agreeable earlier, now it's like 10x or 20x, otherwise don't spend the money. Right. And everybody is very focused on, okay, what exactly will this do for me and why should I do it? Because if you can't see real quantifiable results, then let's not do it.
That makes it really tough though. If you're a hotelier or any part of the industry, to be fair, but in particular hotels, I mean, how do you sense they're trying to get through it at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, some are doing better than the others. I think the companies that are doing well are the ones who have a very sophisticated chief commercial officer, which is responsible for all revenue generating functions. And they're able to, almost force these disciplines to work together.
Okay.
So the sales plan, the marketing plan, the digital revenue management, e-commerce, all of them have to basically work in tandem.
Okay.
to make things work. And I think the teams that have done well are the ones who have been able to allocate resources in the right spots. So as an example, if corporate and groups are slowing down, put all your eggs in the leisure basket, do a lot of targeted ads, etc., to just build that business. Focus on long tail connectivity because these long tail customers will come from anywhere in the world. And you just wait for corporate and groups to come back, and then you can switch gears again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is where I'll let you talk about yourself for a minute then. So what are some of the key challenges that you at RateGain are solving at the moment?
Yeah, so very similar. I think we're basically our underlying motto is just make more revenue for our clients.
Yeah.
So it's all B2B. I think the amount of data that's available in the marketplace is huge. All the consumer behavior is changing. The forecasting has become super hard. So we're trying to just bring out new products that gives actionable insights to pretty much everybody in the commercial organization. So, just give advance notice on how the market trends are changing, where to focus on, how to price more efficiently, and then making distribution as seamless as possible. So just connect seamlessly with channels that are important, not with everyone.
Okay.
And then we acquired this company called My Hotel Shop, which focuses on meta search and direct bookings. So we are very well known for pricing intelligence and third-party distribution, but now we're getting closer to that book direct theme as well.
Okay.
And it falls well in our overall umbrella that we just want to optimize revenue for our clients.
Okay. Maybe it's a daft question on my part, but you said forecasting is really hard. Is that simply a byproduct of the pandemic because levels are all over the place and the benchmarking is almost impossible? Is that the reason then?
That's probably half of the reason.
Okay, what's the other half?
So consumer trends are changing and they're booking differently.
Yep.
Brian Chesky at Airbnb talks about everybody being untethered from work and home, and that just gives rise to a new dynamic industry. The other one is that the long tail of distribution channels is becoming longer. So the old strategy used to be just work with the top 3 OTAs and you're pretty much done. But now new OTAs are emerging from India, like Make My Trip and Traveloka from Indonesia. And in the past they were piggybacking on Expedia, partner services and wholesale to get that inventory. Now they have direct contracts.
Yeah.
And now the chains are saying that, hey, even if I can get a 5% lift because of these long tail OTAs, I should get into that business. And that's putting forecasting into a bit of a twist.
Yeah.
But also it's opportunity, and the chains who are doing it faster, they're getting more market share because they're getting direct access.
It's interesting that you mentioned Make My Trip, but in particular Traveloka. So we were talking with somebody here this same week, and we were saying, is there room for another emerging OTA to come forward? And their consensus as well, the market's very mature. You've got bookings, you've got Expedia, and you've got Trip.com in China, and et cetera, et cetera. And they didn't even think about mentioning those two. And I wonder, what does that say to you a little bit about people's perception of the ability of a new OTA to emerge?
Yeah, no, I think everybody is very flexible, very open. Each of these have unique customers, and that's what makes third-party distribution more interesting. Because if everybody had the same customer, the same source markets, then there was hardly any competition.
Right.
So if you want to reach out to those outbound markets, there's no better way to work with these local OTA players, because they will add a lot of value. It'll be a different booking window. It'll be a different customer who will spend differently, and who'll book differently as well. So these channels are definitely becoming bigger. And even the new programs and business models like Trip Plus and Hopper and Google going organic, etc. These are all welcome signs for us, because the marketplace is evolving, and there is some customer overlap for sure. So there will be some share shift, but I'm of the opinion that there will be incremental business for everyone.
Okay, so you kind of referenced changes in guest behavior, but how fundamentally do you think the guest has changed, and is that a long-term thing, do you think?
Yeah, I think some of it is just for the time being, just because of the pandemic. I think corporate travel, group travel will come, and those are very predictable consumers. I think what's changing in the leisure and the transient customers are just the frequency of booking, the expectations, the length of stay, the ability to basically work from anywhere. That's increasing length of stay. So now they can take off for like a couple of weeks, and it's kind of business and leisure combined. So I think these trends never even existed before, but these are here to stay.
Right.
So companies are not going to travel so much intra-company, but at the same time, the associates and the employees, they can pretty much work from anywhere, and that has a huge impact on everything that we do.
Yeah. There is a perception that there's a challenge around content management in hotels. Can you just talk us through what that challenge is?
Yeah, no, it's a big pain point. So we've been trying to solve it for some time. I think we've solved part of it. I think the biggest challenge is that the hotels and the hotel chains, they are the source of the content. But to be able to distribute it efficiently across all channels and to customize it to the end customer is always very hard.
Right.
So it started with the biggest pain point was I have my own content, I can't distribute it to the other channels, and that eventually got solved. But the problem is that the same content gets thrown on everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a corporate traveler, a leisure traveler, or a group convention, you're seeing the same thing. And we are trying to solve it in a bit of a unique way, where we want to customize it based on customer preferences. So it's almost like CRM meeting content, and every customer having their own profile and looking at content a little bit differently. So we are just putting we already have the distribution pipes, etc. And we're using machine learning and AI to be able to get the intelligence from the distribution channels and the source partners, and then customize it in the best way possible by applying, automated filters, etc. So if you're a leisure traveler traveling on, over the weekend with a family, or if you're a corporate traveler traveling on Monday night for one night, you should ideally see different things, because your purpose of visit is different.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to use it, make it more customizable.
I've known RateGain for many years, and you build products, and it's a very, very successful organization. But do you think sometimes you look at something or a problem and you think, damn, I really wish we could build something that would solve that? Or there's another way of framing it is, there's this pain point and it really needs some kind of solution.
Yeah, we've been thinking about that as well. I mean, we are thinking of a unified platform, almost like an end-to-end solution, which can, combine the best of everything that we do, and whatever we don't have, either we build or buy. So, we're at an interesting stage of our of our corporate life. So we've at least we've filed the intent to go public, and so hopefully that should happen soon. That should give us, some more ammunition. But the overall thought process is that how do we develop that unified end-to-end platform where we can just optimize efficiency. So right from pricing intelligence, distribution connectivity, social media, guest engagement platform, MarTech. Any requirement that a company has from a revenue generation and optimization perspective, we want to address that need.
Right.
And that's kind of our end goal. So if you're doing marketing, don't do the marketing and advertising when you don't even have inventory to sell. But if you have enough inventory to sell, go more aggressive.
Right.
And you can get those insights only if you are working very closely with, and you have all these data points about what's happening in the market, what's the business on the books, what is the social media customer profile, how can you customize it, and then based on your forecast, what levers should you engage? Do you want to go third party? Do you want to go book direct? And we want to, be able to participate in all those activities.
It sounds like a very utopian type thing, right? And do you sense that the demand for that? I know that's what you would like to do. But is there a demand for that from hoteliers, or are they quite happy to be able to bolt on a revenue management system from company X and a digital marketing system from company Y? They prefer that kind of choice, or again, do you think they want a big utopian system?
Yeah, no, it's progressing towards that one unified system pretty
Okay.
quickly. Yeah, because all the big chains have chief commercial officer, and even big or small chains. And I think it resonates really well because you're kind of combining the best of sales, marketing, digital revenue functions all in one, and you need to be able to, maximize that opportunity. So currently it's very broken. I mean, the marketing team might be doing their own numbers. The key result areas of third-party distribution are very different.
Yeah.
The marketing team is almost telling them that, hey, book direct is the only way to go. Don't maximize on OTAs, and it's unsold inventory, and you're losing RevPAR because you're not efficient. You're not efficient across all channels. So this platform will definitely resonate.
Okay, Chinmai Sharma from RateGain, thank you very much for joining us. Really
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
Thank you, Kevin.